Da 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 da. Good morning, it's your old Aunt Fa again, and I was gonna take this building and add a few more details to it and start coloring it. Before I get into that, though, I wanted to address low poly. When I was doing this professionally, I was always told use as few polys as possible. Well, I kept asking, well, give me a limit. Never got a limit. So I made buildings as low poly as I could artistically bear. Now, suppose you're looking at this and you might say, well, you put all this detail in it, that's not low poly. Well, let's see. Go up here to overlays and statistics. This has 675 faces as it stands now, and that's not bad for low poly as far as I'm concerned. Now, for the Foxbellow project, I don't care about low poly. I'm not making a game specifically for the lowest common denominator computer. But game engines being what they are, I may later on have to cut down on the polygons a little. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Shift D to duplicate this, and then I'm going to move it out of the way. I'm going to go up to my window here and name this House 3 Low, and just get it out of the way because it's of no importance at the moment. And go up here, and this one is going to be House 3 High. Okay, now I did make a couple of changes between the last video and this one, and I'll show you. We go into edit mode. What I did here was I noticed that this door went all the way to the ground, so I got this orange line, which was then the ground, and I pulled it up to just above. You can see where that line is. That's where the ground would be, just above there. Then I extruded it down to make the building foundation. There's a couple of things I was going to do from here that I'm going to show you now. One of the things was I was going to make a little patio. Shift. I always hit return instead. I don't know why. Extrude. Okay, there's a little patio, and we could even make a step. Just in case we're really on a slope, we could make a step. Oops, not that way. Extrude again. And we're probably never going to see that, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Now, a door needs a doorknob, right? The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use the Inset Faces tool, the shortcut for which is just I. I'm going to bring that down. It doesn't matter how much because I'm going to scale it. I want the plate the doorknob is on to be about that high and about that wide. Well, maybe a little less. Okay, now I'm going to bring it up and put it where it ought to be. Okay. And extrude. Now, we need a doorknob. You can't really extrude a convincing doorknob I've tried. So what I'm going to do is add a UV sphere. Where did it put it? Here it is. Now this has, man, this has got boatloads of faces. We don't need them all. So I'm going to do segments down to 12 and rings down to 6. No, 6, not 60. Also, I'm going to make it more of a doorknobby shape by getting that tool and there. And of course, it should face this way. Down here, you can type in your angle precisely. There we are. Now it needs a select all of these, or do it the easy way by typing C. Extrude. There's your doorknob handle. And you can then type delete faces because you don't need those. No one's ever going to see them. Now, depending on what you're going to make out of this, something you could do, and something you probably should do, is select everything, and I'm holding Alt, Shift Alt, then C to get all of these. C always adds to what you have. Face, shade, smooth. Yeah, that's better. Now that I've got everything selected, I'm pressing S to scale it. Then I'm going to move it to where it's supposed to go. It's still way big. S. Yeah, okay, I like that. Put that there. Then grab your arrow, put it on the door. Oh, there you go. And I'm also gonna go up and get select edge, Alt, edge, edge, mark seam. And you might want to put a seam there too. You can go overboard with seams, but who cares? Okay, so now we've got the basic building. Let me see. Oh, we don't need these faces on the bottom. It's not gonna change anything much, but you might as well be consistent. And there we go. Now I want to put the first color on here, and the way I approach color is this. When you decide on the color for something, the first color you pick gets plastered over the whole thing. So you might say, well, okay, if it's going to do that, I'll pick the color for the sides of the building. No, that's only going to give you grief. What to do in this case is pick the color of the things that are going to be hardest to reach when you're putting colors on stuff. And in this model, it's going to be these windowsills. They're not windowsills. They're mullions or whatever they are. It's hard. Anyway, go down here on the bottom, and there'll be this sort of balloon thing. Click that. New. And this will give you a material. Let's pull that out. And I always take a preview because I like to see a preview. And it's snowing, and I don't remember asking for snow. But anyway, now we sit and think, well, what color would I like? Remember, you can change all of these at any time. What color would I like? Okay, let's make it a nice blue. Because why not? How about that? No, that's too gross. A little bit more blue and maybe a bit gray. All right. Now, you won't see this in the viewport just yet. Settings you don't need to worry about. Viewport display you do. And just set this to anything that will remind you of the color you picked, or, come here, get this here and there. And this is what I mean by it does the whole thing. So now we've got this. I'm going to name this window wood parts. And is this the nice kind of paint I want? Well, there's a few things we can do with this. Most of these you don't need to worry about. Specular is good. It makes it a little shinier. You can bring down the roughness. Now, what I suggest you do is just play with all of these and see what they do. They all do different things. Clear cut. None of the other things I think we need. Okay. Next thing I want to do is the carcass, of the building. And I'm going to make that, well, the building I live in is royal blue. I don't think that will work for this. Suppose later on I want to make this into a brick building. I'm going to call this color brick. For now, I'm going to just pick a bricky color. And let's see. Okay, here, color. Make it that. Now what I need to do is select all of the areas, and I did this with C, that are going to be brick. You don't have to select them all at once. You can just select a few and see how you like them. And it won't just automatically do it. Okay, so why is it? Come here. Well, this is a bummer. Hold on, something's gone wrong. I'll be right back. Oh, yeah, it won't do anything until you turn C off. You'd think after 10 years I would remember this. You would be wrong. Anyway, to see the brick, assign. Now, when you type A to see nothing at all, that's what you've got. Doesn't look very inspiring, does it? Well, Blender gives you a way to see it a little more inspiring looking, which is to go up here and viewport shading, display material preview mode. Click that, and yeah, that's what we've got. Can I live with that? Yeah, I can live with that. Now, I am going to Alt, click on this line. What that's done is it's clicked this whole window indentation here, and click Assign. And, Alt, pick that one, Shift, pick that one, because where I come from, you notice I'm not talking with my Brooklyn accent today. Here it is, my good old Brooklyn accent. Where I come from, this is the way things are built. Assign. And you just do it all around the whole thing. So rather than watch have you watch me do all of this stuff, which is boring. Let's go on to something else. I'm going to add new, and I'm going to make this the foundation. And this will probably be concrete, so it'll be gray. And I think I'm going to make it a little bit of a yellowish, reddish gray because it's not really a flat gray. And there. Alt, all of that, Shift, all of that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Now, when you go up to look for your color again, it's going to show you the color it already is. You just assign, pick the color you want, and assign. Now, the roof, you can pick what color you want, and then the door, I'm going to make a wood color. The one thing I wanted to go on about here is the glass. The way I'm making the glass for the game, you'll be able to see through it. For most games, this is not what's wanted. So I'm going to make a low poly faux glass. New faux glass. And the way I'm going to do it is this. The color I want, most glass is not absolutely colorless. I could go on at great length about why this is, but trust me, you don't want to know. At the time of the game, it's 1934, and glass typically has a lot of iron in it. So I'm going to make it just slightly greenish. I'm going to take the roughness completely down, and I'm going to bring metallic up a bit so the glass will reflect the outside. Everything else I'm going to leave, and then I'm going to come up here and assign that, assign that. Now, how this is going to look in real life, you can find out by going up here to Viewport Shading, Display Render Preview. And as you see, the light, I don't know why they do this. Go to Object Mode and get your light and put it somewhere where it's useful. Now you really can't see anything terribly well. I think I'm going to make that window glass a little bit darker. Now, if I really wanted to make it transparent, what I would do is I would go to alpha, and I would bring the alpha way down. Also, transmission, bring that up. And here's your preview of what you would actually get. I'm not going for this here, so I'm not going to worry about it. I will, however, eventually do this for the game. So, okay, fine, we'll bring it up to there. All right, I can live with that. And I think I'll stop here for now. In the next one, I'll have all my colors filled in, and I'll show you how to put some actual brick textures. You can stop here if you like this, but if you want your bricks to look like bricks, there's ways to do that, and I'll get to that next time. Take it easy. Bye-bye.